Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. The Indian government has summoned a top American diplomat in Delhi after the US urged a fair, transparent and timely legal process for jailed Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. The US State Department's reaction came days after Germany said that Kejriwal is entitled to a fair and impartial trial like any other Indian citizen. The Indian government said it was interference in its internal matters, biased assumptions and unwarranted. Kejriwal was arrested last week and became the first incumbent chief minister in India to be jailed on corruption charges. Investigators have accused him of accepting kickbacks from liquor companies before the planned contracts were scrapped in the wake of the probe. Kejriwal's former deputy Manish Sisodia, lawmaker Sanjay Singh and BRS leader Kavita from Telangana state are also in jail for their alleged involvement in the case. Kejriwal has challenged his arrest in the Delhi High Court, and his lawyer said the investigator was using delaying tactics. Counsel Abhishek Singhvi said the Enforcement Directorate seeking 3 weeks' time to explain the arrest was not in good faith. In his petition, Kejriwal said the arrest violated his rights, and the agency, which is probing the case, has failed to prove the crime. The petition said his arrest without interrogation was a sign that the case is politically motivated and demanded cancellation of his remand, which expires on Thursday. Some of Tamil Nadu's high-profile candidates presented their election papers to poll officers ahead of national elections next month. The candidate from the governing DMK party, Dayanidhi Maran, is contesting the central Chennai seat. He was accompanied by party workers when he appeared to seek nomination. Tirumavalavan, the leader of the VCK, presented his papers to contest in Chidambaram constituency. Like the DMK, his party is a member of the India bloc, and the state leader of the BJP, K. Annamalai, sought nomination from Coimbatore. He was accompanied by his colleague Vanati Srinivasan, a lawmaker in the state legislature. Tamil Nadu is a Dravidian stronghold, and cracking this southern state can be a major challenge for parties with other ideologies. The former head of India's central bank, Raghuram Rajan, has said the country should work on improving the education and skills of its workforce. In an interview, he said it would be the biggest challenge faced by the country after the elections. The Economist said it would be a mistake to simply believe in the hype around the rapid economic growth because India still has serious structural issues that must be resolved in order to reach its full potential. Reports quoting Rajan's interview said over half of India's 1.4 billion people are below the age of 30, and unless fundamental problems are fixed, it would be difficult to capitalize on its youthful population. Raghuram Rajan, a professor in the US, served as the 23rd governor of the Reserve Bank of India in the year 2013. India's Minister for Home Affairs has said the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Jammu and Kashmir will be revoked. In an interview to a media company, Amit Shah said the government also plans to scale back troops deployed to the region and hand over security responsibilities to the police. The Special Powers Act gives security forces sweeping powers to arrest or open fire if it thinks it is necessary to deal with the situation. The law has been in force in Jammu and Kashmir and in some sensitive parts of the northeastern region. There have been growing calls by activists and organizations to roll back the law. According to reports, Shah said polls to elect a legislature in the Jammu and Kashmir region will be held before September, as directed by the Supreme Court. Prominent politician Mahua Moitra has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate to appear in court on charges of violating foreign exchange laws. According to reports, the case is about her transactions connected to a non-resident account and overseas money transfers and remittances. The third summons to the leader from the Trinamool Congress Party comes days after her home in Kolkata city was searched by officials from the Central Bureau of Investigations. Moitra was expelled from Parliament last year after a panel confirmed that she agreed to ask questions in the House in return for cash and gifts from individuals. She is seeking re-election to Parliament from Krishnanagar constituency in West Bengal state, which she won by a landslide in the last election. Security has been tightened across Europe after the raid on a rock concert in Moscow last week. Russian President Vladimir Putin has accused Ukraine and the West of helping the Islamic State operatives in the raid, which left over 130 people dead. Despite IS claiming responsibility, Putin insists that Western and Ukrainian intelligence were involved. Both Kyiv and the West dismissed the claim as lies. Separately, Russia's FSB security service said it foiled an attack by pro-Ukraine Russian fighters in Samara. France, which is on high alert, foiled 2 attacks this year and plans to deploy 4,000 extra soldiers. Germany is set to introduce temporary border controls for the European Championships, and security has been raised in other countries ahead of Easter. The crash of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore on Tuesday is expected to have a significant impact on global supply chains. The bridge served the port of Baltimore, the busiest U.S. port for car exports, disrupting operations. At least 6 missing people are presumed dead after the container ship flying a Singapore flag knocked the bridge after a power failure on board. The U.S. Coast Guard has suspended its search and rescue operation and started a recovery mission. Traffic through the port, which handled over 47 million tons of foreign cargo last year, will be suspended until further notice. Danish shipping giant Maersk announced it would omit Baltimore on all its services for the foreseeable future. Singapore has said the ship's papers were valid at the time of the incident. Thailand's parliament has approved a marriage equality bill, marking a significant step towards legalizing same-sex unions. The bill, which was supported by all major parties, still requires Senate approval and royal endorsement before becoming law. The legislation recognizes marriage between two people regardless of gender, granting them full rights under the country's civil and commercial code, including inheritance and adoption rights. The bill's passage could position Thailand as one of Asia's most liberal countries on LGBT issues. However, rights activists argue that the country's laws and institutions still discriminate against same-sex couples. Some advocates have expressed disappointment that the terms father and mother were not changed to the gender-neutral parent in the legislation. Despite this, the bill's passage is seen as a positive step towards reducing societal disparity and promoting equality. New documents filed in federal court in California accuse Meta Platforms, led by Mark Zuckerberg, of spying on users of Snapchat, YouTube, and Amazon. Online newspaper TechCrunch claims that Facebook initiated a covert program in 2016 known as Project Ghostbusters with the goal of intercepting and decrypting network communication between users of Snapchat's app and the company's servers. According to court records, the effort was created with the intention of comprehending user behavior and gaining a competitive edge over Snapchat. Internal Facebook emails discussing the initiative are also included in the paper. Despite Snapchat's encrypted traffic, Facebook CEO Zuckerberg emphasized in an internal communication about the need of obtaining analytics. According to court documents, a group of approximately 41 lawyers and senior executives collaborated on Project Ghostbusters. Shares of Trump Media and Technology Group, owned by former U.S. President Donald Trump, surged 59% on their Nasdaq debut, reaching a market capitalization of $10 billion. Despite reporting an operating loss of $10.6 million for the first 9 months of 2023, the stock closed higher, valuing the company at nearly $8 billion. Trump's stake in TMTG was last valued at about $6 billion. The company's debut follows its merger with Digital World Acquisition Corp., which has seen a combined surge of almost 600% since the deal's announcement. The company also provides a platform for Trump supporters to bet on his political resurgence. The deal will inject $300 million into TMTG-owned social media platform Truth Social, which had 8.9 million signups as of February. The technology behind Aircar, a flying car powered by a BMW engine, has been purchased by a Chinese technology company from a European firm. The Aircar, which can transform from a car to an aircraft in just over 2 minutes, successfully flew for 35 minutes between 2 Slovakian airports in 2021. Hebei Jianshin Flying Car Technology Company plans to manufacture and use Aircar within a specific region in China. The company has also built its own airport and flight school, as the Aircar requires a runway for takeoff and landing. Despite the excitement around flying cars, there are still significant challenges to overcome in terms of infrastructure, regulation, and public acceptance. China, a leader in the electric vehicle revolution, is actively developing flying transport solutions. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.